Hmm. Hi, and welcome back to another AnyRPG Development Livestream. In these videos, I livestream the development of the AnyRPG Engine, a 100% free and open source role-playing game engine designed in Unity and written in C#. These videos are unscripted and give you a chance to take a behind-the-scenes look at the unfiltered, methodical side of software development. For more information, be sure to check out AnyRPG.org, where you can find documentation on the engine, links to the full source code at the official GitHub repository, and downloadable versions of AnyRPG Alpha, a free game designed to showcase the features of the AnyRPG engine. If you'd like to see more of this type of content in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, leave a thumbs up on these videos, or just leave a comment letting me know what you would like to see. In today's episode, we will be continuing the creation of the Unity package for export. And in the last episode, we ended with a little bit of an issue and sort of a mystery around the animator. And that was why it was pulling in a bunch of dependencies. And I got it figured out. The answer is really strange, and I haven't found a whole lot of information online on this. I had to do a little bit of searching. So I'll just sort of demonstrate the problem, and I did find a way to get around it here. So if we look at our controllers, this was the original animation controller right here. And I, whenever we go select dependencies, it is selecting all of these things that aren't in use, these RPG character things here. And what I did to try to figure out why is I created a second controller here and called it the test controller. And this actually was a direct copy of this one right here. So it started out with all the same data in it basically. And what I did is just removed all of these one at a time. And you can see that if we go select dependencies right here, none of the AnyRPG tagged animations are in there. They're all the default ones that came with it, but there's nothing in the controller. And you can hit the A key on the keyboard, and that will automatically zoom you in on everything so that we know that there's nothing else hidden in this level that's referencing these files. And so what I did is basically created like just an empty controller here and then compared them, and I found something that was kind of interesting. When I copied in from the AnyRPG animation controller, I just dragged everything here, copied it, and then pasted it into here. And if we go to show this in Explorer, then what you get here is a directory where you see the new empty controller we created is 50 kilobytes, and the other two controllers are like 42 megabytes and 42 megabytes minus 50 kilobytes. So we only had like 50 kilobytes of data in our controller, but these controllers for some reason are 42 megabytes. And when you look inside them, I mean that's with all this the stuff removed, like the new NERPG stuff, that accounts exactly for the difference. So when you open these things up, I just have Notepad++ here, and you look at them, they're full of like just hundreds, if not thousands, of animation state. I think we have a find all count. Yeah, there we go. 44,113 animation state transitions. So it's not even like there's animations in here, but in these hidden state transitions, if we look around, we can actually see those references to those files. I don't think it lists the name. I think it's the file IDs here. So I have no idea what's going on with the Unity UI. I couldn't find any way in the Unity UI, like even in this controller where I deleted every single thing, this still has all those 44,000 state transitions in this controller somehow. So I went and like I was doing a little bit of Googling and I searched for, I think it was embed animations in controller. And I found literally just one post. That's it. Nothing else in any of these results actually have anything to do with that. And you can try searching for like extract animations from controller, and literally like you won't find anything. It's all about extracting them from an FBX. So so there's like a script here basically that goes through and adds assets to objects, and the only thing I can guess is maybe something like that was used. So I really don't know why we have like 44,000 hidden transitions in this controller that we can't see or delete. But I'm just going to end up using this controller right here. And if we select the dependencies for this controller, the one we copied and pasted in, then we see exactly what we expect here. These are all the AnyRPG tagged animations, and there's only 50 kilobytes of data. This means we're going to end up having a bunch of empty references when we get rid of this one right here and replace it. Well, no, I guess we can keep the old references for now. So I'm going to rename this to old. And then just paste that name in there. And this is our new proper, nice and small AnyRPG animation controller. And just go into Explorer and confirm that that's the right one. It's 50 kilobytes. And this will actually help our package size a lot as well. I was wondering why the Unity package I created was so huge, and the 50 megabytes of controllers here were definitely contributing to that. So let's talk about animations now. So we need some animations, and I wanted some public domain animations in the effort to make sure that we're allowed to redistribute everything that's in basically this example version of the engine. All the stuff on the Unity Asset Store, you're obviously like allowed to use it in your own games and stuff, but not necessarily like distributed in Unity packages, and I haven't got permission for that yet. So it's nice to just have a base copy of the game with just 100% public domain assets that we have permission to distribute. So to do that, luckily, we have an asset that we know is public domain, and that is the huge FBX Mocap library. And the huge FBX Mocap library is released by Carnegie-Mellon University, and it really is huge. It's like a total of well over 3 gigabytes of animations. And the issue with this library, although it's great because it's all open source and free, and not only that, but public domain, so able to be redistributed. The issue with it is finding the right animation of those 2,534 animations. So when you download it, let's see if I can find it in here. There, you get this huge mocap library, and I downloaded all 3 parts of it, and then you get 144 directories with names like this, which really aren't very helpful. So there is a spreadsheet if you look in the main mocap animations directory here, and that spreadsheet has a list of all the animations. So that's a little more helpful because you can just open it up in whatever Excel or LibreOffice or whatever you're using and hit Control F, and then in this find window here, let's say I wanted to look for punch animations, then I can type in punch and click find all, and we can see everything that's got punching listed in it. But this is a really slow process, and when I was looking through this library, I got a bit of an idea. Let's just bring that back up here and see if I can find my inspiration for this idea, and that's actually what we'll be doing in this episode. We will be fixing this and making it a little bit easier to search this stuff inside of Unity. Let's see. Someone in one of these comments here. No, it wasn't this one. Probably because I have to see all 42 reviews to find that. Nope. Okay, well, anyway, someone in one of these comments here put a comment about, it would be great if some developer developed a thing to make this library easier to use and basically like rename all the stuff. So I searched online and I couldn't find anything. So what I'm doing right now is I'm building a Python script that will go through and rename all these things so that we can properly search them inside Unity. And then I'm going to release this Python script on GitHub so that anyone else who downloads this thing can basically just copy the Python script into their project and rename all their animations so that they don't have to jump into the spreadsheet. So the one thing I just want to note is when you get the spreadsheet by default, this column B here, at least on my computer, had one extra space at the top of it, so these were all pushed down. So 01 underscore 01 was blank, there was nothing on that row, and then the row after 0114 had this content. So if you're going to use this script and you're downloading it at some point in the future to rename your Carnegie-Mellon animations, then make sure you go into your spreadsheet and you delete the first cell, and you just basically, you can click on like delete and it asks you shift cells up, and that's what you want to do, and that will shift this entire second row up so that all of these animation names are properly lined up. Once you do that, then you can just put this Python script in the directory. It's not done yet, so we're actually just going to go through and sort of finish it together here. And so what we're doing is we're just importing a regular expression engine and the XLRD Python package, and that can just be installed with like pip install XLRD. And then we're making a variable to refer to the name of the Excel spreadsheet that we have that we fixed by putting removing that unnecessary cell in the second column. And then we're opening the spreadsheet here and basically just going through every row and performing a regular expression match, looking for the characters 0 to 9. The plus means one or more times. The brackets here mean that we're going to make some groups so we can refer to whatever was found inside this bracket later. And the caret here means beginning of line, or beginning of cell basically, or beginning of string. And then the dollar sign here means end of string. We've got an underscore and then the same 0 to 9 pattern again. So if we look at the spreadsheet here, what we're doing is we want to find only the rows in the spreadsheet that contain this set of numbers with underscores in between them in the first column. Anything that isn't that, we don't want to try to deal with or look for things to replace on. So that regular expression just finds all of these rows and helps us filter out everything else. You can see we're just printing right now no number found, and you can see that like on blank lines or the very first bunch of lines in the file, which I think I can't even go back in my console that far, but those don't have any data, so we want to basically ignore those too. And then when we find it, I'm just using a regular expression to rename the data in the second column here. So this data, for the sake of renaming our animations on disk, we want this stuff in the file name. So what we're going to do is basically we're going to append this to the file name, and Before we do that, we want to make sure we remove all special characters from here so that if our file system isn't able to handle whatever kind of data is in here, because we don't necessarily trust that this is clean data. It could have like hash signs and dollar signs and I don't know, semicolons or stuff that isn't allowed by the file system as a file name. So this script is just going to basically perform a regular expression, and these brackets basically mean like match any character in here, and then this caret here, when used not at the beginning of the line but when used inside these brackets, means reverse that match. And so essentially any character that's not alphabetic, or well, alphanumeric pretty much, lowercase a to z, uppercase a to z, 0 to 9, will be replaced with an underscore. And so that's when you look in here, you see like nursery rhyme, I'm a little teapot. So it's replaced all the spaces and stuff. Now, I mean, we could go a little further and clean this up even more to get rid of the extra underscores, but honestly, I don't really care. That's good enough for me, because all I really want is that the words are searchable, so that when I go in Unity, then I can just go into this huge mocap animations directory and I can type in, for example, punch, and click in search current directory and come up with all the punch animations. That's going to make it a lot quicker than jumping in and out of this spreadsheet, and we will be releasing that online so that anyone else who's dealing with this same problem doesn't have to deal with this if they find this script. So right now I've got it to the point where we have pulled out these groups. Each of these brackets can be referred to later in a regular expression. So the entire expression that matched is match.group0. Anything inside the first brackets is match.group1. Anything inside the second brackets is match.group2. So match.group0 is going to pull out this first number connected by the underscores, and that's basically the file name of the animation in that directory. And if we go into the directory here and we just go show in Explorer, you can see that these are FBX files. So what we'll be doing is we'll be doing a file exists check to check if this file exists, and if it does, then we will rename it. So let's make that happen here. So what we want to do is, now that we have basically all of the variables we need here, we got the file name and the folder name. Oh, actually, I think the folder name is, oh no, that's right, the folder name. The folder name is the first part of this expression, the 32 or whatever. And then inside of the folder, then we have the folder name and then the underscore and then the file name. So we will, let's just do a quick check if the file exists, if we can find it. So I think in Python, that's if file underscore, nope. Looks like I'm getting a buffering error on the stream here. Okay, it's been a while since I've worked in Python here, so os.path is file, that's what it is. Okay, so we're going to import os. And we're going to, let's see, we'll make the file name here, and we'll call it full file name equals folder name slash file name .fbx. And so just to make sure that code is good, we'll just do a print. And otherwise, could not find file. And we'll save that with Control S and then hit the little play button up here. And it found the file. Perfect. So then what we want to do is, if we found the file, we're going to give it a new name. So let's look what the new name would be, and we'll call that by the new file name. And in that case, I don't know if we need to give it the folder name. We'll see what happens anyway. Give it the folder name plus that, and then the file name. And then actually went out an underscore, and then the fixed animation name, and then .fbx. And then we're just going to add that to our print statement here and just print what we would rename the file to so that we know we're using the correct values here. So 7602 would be renamed to 7602, walk backwards, feign a few tacks, then attack. Okay, good. That's pretty much exactly what we're looking for. So let's just go down and confirm a couple more. Found file 8055, renamed to 8055 mouse. Yeah, this is pretty good, I think. Okay, so then let's see. I can't remember how to rename files in Python. Python rename file. os.rename. Yeah, okay. So os.rename. Oh, interesting. It's I'm on Windows, and I went and put Linux style paths in here, and it's still finding them. So I think that's actually okay. Yeah, okay. So os.rename, source and destination. So what we want is full file name and new file name. Okay. The big scary moment. Let's see what happens. Okay. And that's that. Yeah, no, okay. We got an error after 91 of them. Let's go see what happened here. 91 underscore 53. The good news is, with the renamed file, this script is idempotent, so we can basically pick up where we left off. The fact that Unity is spinning means I think I probably successfully renamed a bunch of this stuff. Yeah, looks like it. Alright, this is clearly going to take a while. Anyway, let's go figure out what's wrong with expected string or bytes-like object. We died right after 9153. So let's go down and figure out what happens after 9153. Well, isn't that interesting? Okay, so it looks like this is not a string. So there's a couple of ways that we could deal with this. One of the ways is we could probably just like select all these columns and go to format cells, and then we could just go to like string, yeah, category, and we can make them text. And that would be one way to fix things, and it's a valid way and it would work. But assuming that whoever is using this script in the future didn't go through and do that, I mean, given we could redistribute like a version of this spreadsheet that that's fixed, but it would actually be kind of nice to have our script deal with invalid values like that. So the line we had an issue with here is this one, line 18. And the raw animation name we got out of that. So what we want to do basically is just convert this to a string value if it's not. And I think in Python we can just typecast. Does that work? And let's just check that for a second. question is it going to be okay if we send it? I think we can check also. Let's just see if Python is string. And of course the version of Python is gonna, let's just go back into our IDE here and see what our helper says. Not sure if we need to perform a check or not. Just going back to Unity here. Yeah, wow, lots of importing going on. 2,543 imports. Looks like this one is definitely going to take a while. I think we're probably okay actually just to rerun this Python script because Unity is only importing the changed stuff right now. And this isn't going to change anything that's already changed. So let's try to run that. Okay, that's a lot better. Yeah. So now it made it all the way through. And so yeah, it looks like just straight up typecasting that to a string is totally valid, even if it's already a string. So that's good. So that's about it. That pretty much covers the script here. And I mean, this is a really simple script. We're not doing like a bunch of error checking or anything like that. So let's make a GitHub repo for that, and we'll just upload that to GitHub. And the reason, like I did this in Python basically because I want anyone to be able to run this even on a machine that they don't necessarily have like Visual Studio or Unity on. So that's why I didn't do this in C# basically. So let's see here. We can create a new repository and this is the Carnegie-Mellon. Going back here just for a second. All right, yeah. Let's put this window back over here so you can see what's going on. So I just went into GitHub and click Create New Repository. We're going to create the Carnegie-Mellon Mocap rename. Rename the Carnegie-Mellon Mocap animations to, let's see, do we have a public domain license here? No, closest thing is going to be, I think, just the MIT license. let's see here. Okay, rename the Carnegie-Mellon mocap animations to include keywords in the file name. Looks good. So let's create that. And that looks good. And we're just going to clone or download this with SSH. And so let's go into Git bash here. I just updated this thing, so yeah, that looks okay. Oh, you know what? I think I think I can just copy and paste that GitHub code directly in here. Clone or download SSH, copy to clipboard. What's going to work here? There we go. So we can just do git clone. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good. So then we can just go into that directory right there. And let's open that up in VS Code. So we'll just save this file as and then D drive. And convert.py. Yeah, sure, why not? We're just going to do like a really simple version of this. I'm not going to bother putting this like in classes or anything because it's pretty much just sample code. And then let's just open the README because we need to put some directions in there. So we will open the file. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's good. README. Okay. So the instructions to use this are basically open that file name and delete cell B1. B1, yeah. Open the spreadsheet and delete cell B1, shifting all the cells in the column up. Actually, step one is actually download the Carnegie-Mellon library. And then the path to that particular file is mocap animations. Oops. Open in the mocap animations directory and delete cell B1, shifting all the cells in the column up. Good. Then drop the script. Move this script into the same directory as this file. Run the script. And first, prerequisites. Install Python. Install XLRD. I think I did that literally by just like, yeah, pip install XLRD. Good. That's pretty much it. Run the script. The files will be renamed from let's look for a really funny one here. Yeah, actually that's fine. Files will be renamed from to include the description such as, okay, and I think that's good. Basically that's all that needs to be done. Actually, you know what? We're actually gonna move that up in a prerequisites because this script doesn't work without that, so it's pretty much a prerequisite. So there we go. And that should say directory. Okay. So I think that's good. Let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at that directory here. So we've got convert.py, our license, which is our MIT license, and our README file. If we look at the license right here, free of charge, without restriction, modify copy, etc. Good, and that's basically what we want. Like, this is basically, we are releasing this into the public domain with no warranty. It's kind of just like cheap, really cheap code, not quite production quality stuff, but it works. It's simple. It does the job, and now we can actually hopefully search for the animations by name inside of Unity. So let's just upload that. Looking at our status, yeah, that's right. So git add all that stuff. Just a second, do we already have an initial commit? Let's go back and look at that repository. Oops, did I, no, there we go, okay. We do have an initial commit, okay. So we can't call this initial commit. We're just going to call this add readme content and conversion script. Okay, and now, awesome. And this looks pretty good. Rename the Carnegie-Mellon mocap animations to include keywords in the file name. Download the library. You know what? We can actually do that a little better. Let's actually refer to all three parts of the library. So we have part 3 and part 1. Okay, that's better. And okay, so we'll just add everything back again and update the README and just check what that looks like now. Okay, so we're not getting those. I think what I'm looking for actually is a markdown sublist. Four spaces. Okay, let's just try that. I don't know. Wow, neat. It is doing exactly what I want it to. This is pretty cool. All right, so then we need here 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a star. Right? Okay. I'm just trying to see if that works. Nope. That actually kind of messed things up a little bit. Let's go back into Unity because we're going to let Unity find all those new animations that we just uploaded as well. And let it start that process because we've still got like tons of them left to do. And let's go fix that markdown file as well. Wow. GitHub markdown cheat sheet. Okay. So let's try unordered sublist. Two spaces. All right, let's try that. Remove the star from those. And try that. There we go. That's a little better. Everything's on the right lines now. Okay, so if I was looking at this and I had never used this before, are these directions clear enough that I'd be able to follow them and successfully convert it? Rename the Carnegie-Mellon University mocap animations to include keywords in the file name. Install Python, install XLRD, download all 3 parts. Open the spreadsheet in the mocap animations directory and delete cell B1, shifting all the cells in the column up. Move this script into the same directory as the spreadsheet. Run the script. The files will be named from that to include descriptions such as that. I think that is pretty clear. So if you download this and those instructions aren't clear, then I will be happy to make them clearer, but I think that's pretty good. And now we have an open source rename script out there. So Unity is going to be renaming these things for a while. I think what I will do actually is I'll just end this stream and rename it. It's not going to be called Make Animations. I'm going to rename this stream to something like Make Carnegie-Mellon Rename Python Script or something like that. And then I will start another development live stream where we actually go through and use all of these animations and start looking through them and for like good fighting animations to include with our controller. So we've got some nice public domain ones. So thank you for watching, and as always, if you like this type of content or you'd like to see more of it or something different in the future, just subscribe to the Cohesion channel, like the videos, or leave a comment letting me know what you'd like to see. Thanks, and I will see you next time.